The mining station called Starpoint 7 floated in the dark emptiness of space. Inside this metal fortress, two small alien children worked without rest. They were not there by choice. They were slaves. June was 10 years old. His skin was light, blue with tiny dots that glowed when he was scared. His sister Minji was 8. Her eyes were large and purple, now always filled with worry. They belonged to a species called the Cerulean, known across the galaxy for their small size and clever hands. Hurry up! The air filters won't clean themselves, growled Overseer Gil, a tall bug-like alien with sharp claws. He carried a shock stick that sent painful jolts through anyone who moved too slowly. June and Minji crawled through a narrow tunnel. The metal was cold against their knees. The air smelled bad, like burnt wires and old food. This tunnel was too small for the adult aliens who ran the station. That's why they used children. My arms hurt, whispered Minji, her small fingers working to replace the dirty filter. Shh, just a few more, June said softly. If we finish early, maybe they'll give us extra food tonight. Food was always a problem. The children got one meal each day, a grey paste that tasted like nothing. It kept them alive, but never filled their empty stomachs. The Cerulean children had been on the mining station for 3 years. They barely remembered their home planet with its 3 moons and blue forests. They had been taken when raiders attacked their village. Many adults died that day. The children were put in boxes and sold to the highest bidders. Now their lives were simple and hard. Work, sleep, eat the grey paste, work again. Did you hear? Asked another slave child named Tommy as they sat in their sleeping room that night. The room was just a metal box with thin mats on the floor. 20 children from different planets slept here. A new ship is coming tomorrow. June looked up. What kind of ship? A human ship, Tommy said, eyes wide with fear. The room went quiet. Everyone had heard stories about humans. My last owner said humans catch alien children and eat them, whispered a green-skinned child in the corner. I heard they use our bones to build their ships, said another. Minji moved closer to her brother, shaking. Will they eat us, June? June put his arm around her. Those are just stories. No one here has ever even seen a human. But deep inside, he was scared too. The overseers had always told them humans were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. That night, sleep came hard for the children. Minji kept having bad dreams. In one dream, a tall shadow with sharp teeth was chasing her through the tunnels. Don't. Leave me, she cried out in her sleep. June held her hand. I'm here, I won't leave you. Morning came too soon. The harsh lights turned on and the door slid open. Overseer Gil stood there with his shock stick. You too. He pointed at June and, Minji, the human ship is docking soon. We need the greeting hall cleaned now. The children jumped up and followed him through the station's cold hallways. Other workers, mostly adult aliens of different species, moved out of Gil's way. No one wanted trouble with an overseer. The greeting hall was the nicest place on the station. It had real plants in pots and clean air. This was where important visitors came. The children had cleaned it many times before. Make it perfect, Gil warned. The station master wants to make a good impression on this human. He might be a big buyer for our crystals. The station mined special crystals from a nearby moon. The crystals powered starship engines. They were worth a lot of money. As the children cleaned, they heard the station's alert system announce the arrival of the human ship. Docking procedure beginning in Bay 12, said the computer voice. Minji dropped her cleaning cloth. They're really coming. It's just business, June said, trying to sound brave. They won't even see us. We'll be back in the tunnels by then. But he was wrong. Just as they finished cleaning, the main doors opened. The station master, a tall grey alien with 4 arms, walked in. Behind him came the human. He was taller than June expected, with dark hair and skin the color of the station's copper pipes. He wore a blue uniform with silver buttons. His eyes were brown and sharp, seeing everything. Those eyes found June and Minji immediately. The human's face changed when he saw them. His mouth opened slightly, then closed tight. Something passed across his face. Surprise, then anger. Then something else June couldn't name. The station master waved his 4 arms. Welcome to Starpoint 7. These little ones were just leaving. The human nodded slowly, still watching the children. "Thank you for the welcome," he said in a deep voice. "My name is Captain Han." As Gil pushed them toward the exit, June looked back once more. The human was still watching them with those strange, thoughtful eyes. Captain Han stood alone on the bridge of his ship, the Starseeker. The ship was small but powerful, designed for stealth missions. Through the large front window, he could see the mining station getting closer. Starpoint 7 looked like a giant metal spider with long arms stretching out into space. Han was not really a trader. He was an agent for the Earth Protection Force, a special group that fought against slavery across the galaxy. For 6 months, he had been tracking reports of child slaves working in this sector. "Computer, final system check," Han said, adjusting his fake trader clothes. He wore expensive-looking boots and a jacket with golden buttons. His real uniform was hidden in a secret compartment. "All systems operational," the ship's computer replied. "Weapons concealed. Fake trade documents ready." Han touched the small scar on his chin. He had been a slave once too, long ago. He had escaped when he was 12 years old. Now, at 35, he had freed more than 200 slaves from different planets. "Request permission to dock," he said into the communication system. A rough voice answered, "Permission granted, human. Follow docking path to Bay 12. As the Starseeker moved toward the station, Han reviewed what he knew. Starpoint 7 mined crystals, used for spaceship fuel. The station was run by a species called the Draz, tall grey aliens with 4 arms and cold black eyes. They were known for using slave labor, especially children who could fit into small spaces. "Remember the plan," Han said to himself. 3 days to gather information, find how many children are here, learn the security systems, then call for backup. The ship docked with a gentle bump. Han took a deep breath and put on his best fake smile. He had done this many times before, pretending to be interested in buying illegal goods while secretly planning a rescue. When the airlock door opened, Han was greeted by a Draz in expensive clothes, the station master. "Welcome to Starpoint." "7," the station master said, his 4 hands moving in different directions. "I am Master Kroll. We are honored by your interest in our crystals." Han bowed slightly. "The honor is mine. Earth's new ships need quality fuel crystals." They walked through a clean hallway to a meeting room. Han noticed cameras everywhere. The station was well guarded. Then he saw them, 2 small blue children cleaning the floor. They were thin with dull eyes that showed they had not seen sunshine for a long time. The boy looked about 10, the girl younger. They wore dirty grey, clothes that were too big for them. Han's heart beat faster, but he kept his face calm. Those children, they were exactly why he was here. "Those workers," Han said casually, pointing at the children. "What species are they?" Master Kroll waved one hand dismissively. "Just Cerulans. They are perfect for maintenance work. Small fingers, good eyesight. Very obedient when properly trained." Han nodded, fighting the anger rising inside him. "Interesting. How many workers do you have here?" "Over 200, Kroll said proudly. 50 adult miners and many small ones for the tight spaces." In the meeting room, they discussed crystal prices and shipping details. Han pretended to be interested, asking questions and taking notes. All the while, his hidden camera was recording everything. "You must be tired after your journey," Kroll said finally. "Let me show you to your quarters. Tomorrow you can tour our mining operation." Han's room was surprisingly comfortable, with a soft bed and clean air. After the door closed, he quickly checked for listening devices. He found 2 and left them alone. Finding them was enough. Now he could avoid saying anything suspicious near them. From his bag, Han took out a small device that looked like a pen. It was actually a scanner that could map the station's layout. He would need to know every corridor and room for the rescue operation. That night, Han couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the blue children he had seen. Their faces reminded him of his own childhood. He remembered the dark mines where he had worked, the hunger, the fear. 3 days, he whispered to himself. In 3 days, those children will be free. Early the next morning, there was a knock at his door. When Han opened it, he was surprised to see the 2 Cerulean children standing there, heads bowed. "We are sent to clean your room, sir," the boy said in a small voice. Han looked at them carefully. The girl was trembling. They both thought he was going to hurt them. He could see the fear in their eyes. This was an unexpected opportunity. "Come in," Han said gently. "What are your names?" The children looked at each other in confusion. Slaves were not often asked their names. "I'm June," the boy finally said. "This is my sister, Minji." Han smiled. "Nice to meet you, June and Minji. I'm Captain Han." He would have to be very careful. If he gained these children's trust, they could help him save all the slaves on the station. But one wrong move could ruin everything. The rescue mission had truly begun. June and Minji stood frozen just inside Captain Han's room. Their small blue hands clutched cleaning supplies, and their eyes stayed fixed on the floor. This human was different from what they expected. He didn't have sharp teeth or claws. He looked almost like them, except for his copper-colored skin and greater height. "Please sit down," Han said, pointing to 2 chairs by a small table. The children didn't move. "We must clean," June said quietly. "If we don't finish our work, Overseer Gil will be angry." Han nodded slowly. "I understand you can clean, but first, aren't you hungry?" The children's eyes widened. Food was never offered freely. It was always a reward, or more often, something withheld as punishment. Han reached into his bag and pulled out 2 round fruits with red skin. "These are apples from Earth. They're sweet." He placed the apples on the table and stepped back, giving the children space. Minji looked at her brother, unsure what to do. "It's a trick," she whispered. "The stories say humans poison alien children." Han pretended not to hear. He picked up one of the apples and took a big bite, chewing slowly. Very good. But if you're not hungry, that's fine." The smell of the fruit filled the room. It was nothing like the grey paste they ate every day. June's stomach made a loud noise. "You can take them," Han said, turning his back to look out the small window at the stars. "I won't watch." After a minute of silence, Han heard quick footsteps and the sound of the apples being taken from the table. He smiled to himself but kept looking at the stars. "Thank you," June said so quietly that Han barely heard him. "You're welcome," Han replied, still not turning around. "The fruit is just the beginning." "Beginning of what?" Minji asked, her mouth full of apple. Han turned slowly. The children were each holding half-eaten apples, their eyes now showing curiosity instead of just fear. "The beginning of friendship," Han said. He sat down on the floor, making himself smaller and less scary. "I want to be your friend." June shook his head. "Slaves don't have friends, only masters." "On Earth," Han said carefully, "we don't believe in slavery. We believe all people should be free." The children stared at him. The word free seemed to confuse them. "What does free mean?" Minji asked. Han's heart broke a little. These children didn't even understand the concept of freedom. Free means you choose what to do. You decide when to sleep, what to eat, where to go. "That's not possible," June said. "Overseers decide everything." "Not everywhere," Han said. "There are places where children like you play and learn instead of work. They have good food, clean clothes, and soft beds." Minji's eyes filled with tears. "Like our home before the bad ships came." "Yes," Han said gently. "Like that." Han reached into his pocket and pulled out a small device. It projected a hologram showing Earth children playing in a park. The hologram children were laughing, running, climbing trees. Some were Cerulean children like June and Minji. "Those are your people," Han explained. "They were rescued from places like this station. Now they live on Earth." June's mouth opened in surprise. "There are more like us? Free?" "Many more," Han confirmed. "And soon you could join them." Minji stepped closer to the hologram, her small hand reaching out to touch it. "How?" Han turned off the device and put a finger to his lips. "I need to tell you a secret. Can you keep a secret?" Both children nodded, their eyes serious. "I'm not really a crystal buyer," Han whispered. "I came here to help children like you escape this place." June backed away, suspicious again. "Why? Would you help us? What do you want?" Han thought carefully before answering. "When I was a child, I was a slave too. Someone helped me escape. Now I help others." He slowly rolled up his sleeve to show a scar on his arm. This is from my time, as a slave. I know what it's like to be afraid all the time. Minji touched her own arm, which had similar scars from punishments. If we try to escape, the overseers will hurt us, June said. They have weapons. I have friends coming with a big ship, Han explained. They have special tools to stop the overseers without hurting anyone. But I need your help. I need to know how many children are here, where they sleep, and how the security systems work. A loud noise in the hallway made them all jump. The door slid open, and Overseer Gil stuck his head in. What's taking so long? He growled. This room should be clean by now. The children quickly picked up their cleaning supplies. Han stood up and gave Gil an angry look. I was asking them questions about the station, Han said in a cold voice. Don't interrupt again. Gil seemed surprised by Han's tone, but nodded and left, closing the door. So you made him go away? Minji whispered in amazement. Remember, Han said quietly as the children started to clean. 3 days. Tell no one about me. Watch for my signal. Freedom is coming. As they left his room later, both children walked differently. Their shoulders were straighter. For the first time in years, they had something humans called hope. For the next part of your story, here's the escape plan, written in simple English with a third-person perspective. 2 days had passed since Captain Han first met June and Minji. In that time, the children had brought him valuable information. They had drawn a simple map, showing where all the slave children slept. They had told him about the guards' schedules. Most importantly, they had shown him the secret maintenance tunnels that ran through the entire station. Today was the 3rd day. Tomorrow, Han's rescue ship would arrive with 20 soldiers. But first he needed to prepare the children. Remember this sound? Han whispered to June and Minji as they pretended to clean his room. He pressed a small button on his wrist device. It made 3 soft beeps. When you hear this sound tomorrow, take as many children as you can to the big storage room on level 3, the one with the blue door. Can you do that? June nodded. Yes, we know that room. The overseers rarely go there. Good, Han said. My friends will meet you there. They will take you to our big ship. Minji looked worried. What about you? Will you come with us? Han smiled. Yes, but I have work to do first. I need to turn off the station's alarm system. The control room has many guards, June warned. They will stop you. I have a plan, Han assured them. Don't worry about me. After the children left, Han prepared his equipment. From a hidden compartment in his bag, he took out a small black gun and a device that could disable electronic locks. He also took 6 tiny discs, each no bigger than a fingernail. These were signal jammers that would stop the station's cameras from working. Just then, his room's communication screen turned on. The face of Master Kroll appeared. Captain Han, the station master said, his 4 arms moving nervously. Please come to my office immediately. There is an urgent matter to discuss. Han felt a chill. Had his plan been discovered? He put the gun in his hidden pocket and went to meet Kroll. The station master's office was large and filled with expensive things. Kroll sat behind a big desk made of rare wood. 2 guards stood by the door. Captain, Kroll said, not looking friendly anymore. We have received a message that concerns you. Han kept his face calm. What message? Kroll pressed a button and a hologram appeared. It showed a trader from another system. Be careful of the human called Han, the trader said. He is not a real buyer. He has stolen children from 3 mining stations this year. The hologram disappeared. Kroll's black eyes stared at Han. What do you say to this? Kroll asked. Han's mind worked quickly. He needed more time. The rescue ship wouldn't arrive until tomorrow. That trader is lying, Han said confidently. He wants to stop our deal because he sells inferior crystals. I can prove I am a real buyer. How? Kroll asked, still suspicious. I will transfer half the payment for the crystals now, Han offered, as a show of good faith. This seemed to surprise Kroll. His 4 hands tapped on the desk as he thought. Very well, he finally said. Transfer the payment, and we will continue our business. Han used his device to transfer a large sum of credits to the station's account. It was real money, provided by Earth's government to help with rescue missions. Excellent, Kroll said, looking pleased. We will prepare your crystal shipment. Back. In his room, Han contacted his rescue ship. The plan is compromised, he whispered. We need to move now, tonight, not tomorrow. "Understood," replied the captain of the rescue ship. "We can arrive in 6 hours." Han looked at the time. It was not enough. He needed to warn the children about the change in plans. He left his room and walked toward the maintenance areas where the children worked. As he turned a corner, he saw June running toward him. The boy's face was filled with fear. "Captain Han," June gasped. "They know. The overseers are looking for you." "How did they find out?" Han asked quickly. "Overseer Gil heard Minji talking about freedom," June explained. "They took her for questioning. She's in the punishment room now." Han's face hardened. The plan had completely fallen apart. He needed to act now. "Where is this punishment room?" he asked. "Level 5 near the guard station," June replied. "But there are many guards there." Han knelt down and put his hands on June's shoulders. "Listen carefully. I'm going to get Minji. Then we're leaving tonight, not tomorrow. Can you still get the other children to the storage room?" June looked scared but nodded bravely. "Yes, when?" Han checked the time. "In exactly 2 hours. When you hear the station alarm, that's the signal. Go now and be careful." As June disappeared, down a small tunnel, Han took out his gun. The peaceful plan was over. Now it was time for action. The rescue had begun early, and the danger was greater than ever. The station alarm blared suddenly, its high-pitched noise echoing through every corridor. Red lights flashed, creating strange shadows on the metal walls. This was not part of Han's plan. Something had gone wrong. On level 5, Captain Han pressed himself against a wall as 2 guards ran past. His black uniform helped him blend with the shadows. In his hand he held a small device that showed a map of the station. A blinking dot marked the punishment room. "Just 10 more meters," he whispered to himself. The punishment room had a heavy metal door with a security panel. Han placed a small disc on the panel. The disc glowed blue and the door slid open. Inside, Minji sat alone on a cold metal bench. Her small blue face was wet with tears. When she saw Han, her eyes grew wide with surprise. "Captain Han," she whispered, "how did you find me?" "Friends always find each other," Han said with a smile. He knelt down beside her. "Are you hurt?" Minji shook her head. "They only yelled at me. They wanted to know about you." "Did you tell them?" "No," Minji said proudly. "I remembered what you said about being brave." Han checked the hallway. It was empty for now, but that wouldn't last long. "We need to move quickly," he said. "June is gathering the other children. My ship will be here soon." Han took Minji's hand, and they slipped into the corridor. The station was in chaos. The alarm continued to sound and station workers ran in all directions. No one paid attention to a man and a small child moving quietly along the wall. They had almost reached the elevator to level 3 when a voice shouted behind them. "Stop right there, human." Han turned to see Overseer Gil with 4 guards. They all carried shock sticks. "Run to the elevator," Han whispered to Minji. "I'll handle this." As Minji ran, Han faced the guards. He had trained for situations like this. The guards rushed at him all at once, thinking their numbers would give them an advantage. They were wrong. Han moved with surprising speed. He dodged the first guard's attack and used the guard's own momentum to throw him against the wall. The second guard swung his shock stick, but Han caught his arm and twisted it. The guard dropped his weapon with a cry of pain. Overseer Gil watched, in shock as Han defeated all 4 guards in less than a minute. The human moved like no creature Gil had ever seen. "What are you?" Gil asked, backing away. "I am justice," Han said simply. He picked up a fallen shock stick and pointed it at Gil. "Now take me to Master Kroll." Meanwhile, on level 3, June had succeeded in his mission. 27 children from 6 different species huddled in the storage room. They were scared but excited. June had told them about freedom, about the human who had come to save them. "When will he come?" asked a small green child. "Soon," June promised, though he was worried. The alarm wasn't supposed to happen yet. Had something gone wrong? Then the door opened. Everyone held their breath. Was it the human or the overseers coming to punish them? Minji ran in, breathless. "June, Captain Han is fighting the guards. He told me to come here." The children murmured in fear. Fighting meant danger. "We should hide," someone suggested. "No," June said firmly. "Captain Han will come. We must be ready." Just then, A new sound joined the alarm, a deep rumbling that made the floor vibrate. "What's that?" Minji asked. June smiled. "It's the rescue ship. It's here." On the command deck, Captain Han faced Master Kroll. The station master's forearms were raised in surrender. The control panels behind him showed a large ship approaching Starpoint 7. "You can't win," Kroll said. "Even if your ship docks, you'll—" "Never get all those children out. My soldiers will stop you." Han smiled and held up a small device. "This sends a signal to my ship. When I press this button, they will use a special beam to disable all weapons on this station. No one will be hurt, but no one will be able to stop us either." Kroll's black eyes narrowed. "Why do this? Those children are just property." Han's smile disappeared. "No living being is property. On Earth we learned that lesson long ago through much suffering." He pressed the button. A wave of energy washed over the station. All the lights flickered and went out for a moment. When they came back on, the alarm had stopped. "It's done," Han said. "My people are coming aboard now." In the storage room, the children heard footsteps approaching. The door opened to reveal two humans wearing the same uniform as Captain Han. "We're from the Earth Protection Force," said a woman with kind eyes. "We're here to take you home." June and Minji looked at each other. Home. It was a word they had almost forgotten. The children followed the humans through the quiet station. No guards tried to stop them. When they reached the docking bay, a large ship waited. Its door was open, warm light spilling out. As they approached the ship, Minji stopped. "Where's Captain Han?" Just then, Han appeared from another corridor. His uniform was torn, and he had a small cut on his face, but he was smiling. "You did it!" Minji cried. Running to him, "You saved us!" Han knelt down and hugged her. "We did it together, all of us." As the children boarded the rescue ship, they saw comfortable beds, clean clothes, and tables filled with real food, not grey paste. June and Minji stood at a window as the ship pulled away from Starpoint 7. The mining station grew smaller and smaller, until it was just a tiny dot in the blackness of space. "Are we really free now?" Minji asked quietly. Han put a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Yes, and I promise no one will ever make you a slave again." For the first time in 3 years, the children laughed without fear. They were going home, not to the planet they had lost, but to a new home where they could be children again. And, as for Captain Han, he had one more name to cross off his list. There were still many children in the galaxy waiting to be saved. His work would continue. But for now, watching June and Minji smile as they saw stars without metal bars between them, he knew this mission had been worth every risk.